Hi everybody, it's Bonkai922. Okay, here to bring you the latest episode of Sword Art Online, and if everyone's wondering from this review, no, I will not be using customized thumbnails for this episode review. Now, before I get into this episode review, I probably shouldn't do this because I'm trying to... This guy in a comment, and he said, what was the deal with me making a short summary? This guy wants me to do a long summary. Now, I responded to him saying the reason why is because of what happened with the copyright strike. See, if I'm going to do these reviews for Sword Art Online and use customized thumbnails, I can't make them long. Because the same is going to happen. They're going to me on that. So, moving along. This episode of Sword Art Online and this guy was saying it's very good. It is. It was pretty damn good. I found this to be very weird, though. Now, the reason why I find this to be weird is we see Kirito fighting in the dungeon, and he's attacking this monster and everything, and he's attacking this monster, he defeats it, and then we see him later on and he's in the dungeon when he's doing this. And after he gets out of the dungeon, he goes through this forest and he kills a rabbit. Not specifically what the name of the rabbit was. Wabbit. Be quiet, I'm hunting rabbits. Like Elmer Fudd. And he kills this rabbit, and he brings it and he was in the floor 74, the dungeon, and then he brings it to floor 50, Algade, to, what's that guy's name? I forgot the guy's name. Let me just, window and find the guy's name. I think it's Ingiel? Let me... what the fuck is this? I searched my own video. Wait, let's try this again. There we go. Sword Art Online. Okay. Yeah, I believe this guy I forgot his name. I really forgot his name. Egil. He was basically, Kirito was going in that shop, his merchant friend, Egil, and, excuse me, he was going in the shop, his friend's shop, Egil, and he presented him with this rabbit, and he was shocked beyond belief because, sorry about that, I was nails, because it was a rare freaking item, and he was like, "Wow, you want to sell this to me? You should." Kirito's basically saying that he doesn't want to eat it because he doesn't know anybody who can cook it for him. Because in the world, you need somebody, in Sword Art Online, you need somebody with a high skill of cooking to do it. So what ends on happening is Asuna walks in and she touches his shoulder, Kirito, and we see this guy with Asuna at all times. I think if I remember correctly, his name was Kimdol. I know it started with a K, Kimdol. He basically is her escort, and now the one thing about Asuna that I just love, oh my god, she is like, let's put it this way, Kirito, he's a wild dog. He's like, he likes to run around and go places, and she's the leash. She's like, put a leash on him. She's like, that's the way I look at her. She's like, writing down the law saying, hey, you're going to do this and this. So he decides, he wants her to cook it for him. Because she said to him that, I have max points cooking and everything. So that's what she wanted to do. And she says, but half. She wants half of it. She can't. There's no bargaining here, so on and so forth. So they decide that, and they get out of the shop and they leave. And what happens is she's leaving with Kirito to go and cook the food for him, the rabbit, and the guy who's her protector, yeah, he gets pissed off at Kirito a bit, and he starts calling him he's a beater and everything, and how you shouldn't be hanging around him and everything. And she tells him, go back to the headquarters, because they're part of this guild called the Blood Knights. And apparently this guy, he doesn't like Kirito. He leaves, obviously, but he's standing there actually. He doesn't leave, and Suna's not even second thought. She grabs Kirito and walks hey, grabbing him and tearing him around. I'm like, holy shit, man. So what ends on happening then after that scene, they go to floor 61, Selmberg, which is where Asuna lives. Oh my god. She lives in this fancy ass house. I'm like, oh my god. And she says it cost her $4. I'm not sure how they do pricing in Sword Art Online, but she said it cost $4 million. And was like, oh my god. He says, I'll never be able to afford this place. And she takes it out and she cooks it for him, and they're having this neat kind of thing. And while they're eating, she says, oh, that look, I've seen that look before. Well, people look like that, they propose to me. She was laughing, saying no, and so on and so forth. And what ended up happening was she wanted to have a party with him. She wants to have a party with him. Go join a party to go and explore and go through the dungeon. Front lines. And he at first is hesitant, and then he's like, oh, I don't want to, usually people drag me down. She's got a knife in her hand, right in his face. And then she's like, and then she protests again about it, and she does it again, and I'm like, oh my god, I love this character. Yes, I have been turned into an Asuna fanboy. An Asuna fanboy. Let me tell you something right now. Asuna, Sakura, or Hime, they got nothing on her. Nothing. I just want to let you guys know that, just to bring it up. Okay, so moving on. That's what happens. He ends up joining her party. And they go to floor 74 again. But there's basically two versions of floor 74. There's the dungeon itself, and this other place called Camden. So he's waiting for it. It's early in the morning. He's like, oh, she jumps out of the freaking portal and she lands on top of him. Oh my god. He's trying to get his bearings. He grabs her boobs. It was so funny. He's and then she just hits him, and he gets thrown to the I think it was, he rolls around and hits this thing, his head, and she's got that embarrassed face on, and then someone else is coming out, and then she grabs Kirito and goes away and goes behind him. It's the same douchebag, that Chemdil guy. He's like I said before, he's part of the Blood Knights, and he shows up, and he says that, oh, Asuna, you need to come with me to headquarters, and also the bullshit. And she says, no, I decided to do this, you have to go back to headquarters. And he just grabs her, and Kirito grabs his hand and says, I'm going to take responsibility for your vice captain for today. So hit the bricks, bitch. And he's so pissed, this guy, and it says, you're just a beater. You can't protect Asuna. Only I can protect Asuna. Come on, douchebag. Come on. Really? Jump off. So, what ends on happening is he challenges Kirito to a fight. Oh my god, what an ass. Like, come on. You know you're gonna lose, douchebag. So he ends up fighting Kirito. And he doesn't take Kirito to the... Boom! Guy's sword snaps in half. Now, the interesting thing about this fight was it only lasts like a minute and 30 seconds. And somebody was watching the fight. So he gets pissed off and he cheated, and he tries to stab Kirito. Asuna steps right in and stops him. He says, go back. I'm relinquishing you of this mission. Go back to headquarters. And he reluctantly leaves. Somebody was watching the fight, though. It was one of the guys from Laughing Coffin. So, yeah. They're keeping an eye on Kirito there. So that's what ended up happening. And I'm just loving Asuna. She is amazing. Just Asuna fanboy. I've been turned into an Asuna fanboy. So they end up going to after that fiasco, they go to the dungeon. So it's like full circle. You know. They go to the dungeon, they start fighting, and you know, Kirito's like, because her fighting style, it's just, she's so goddamn good. You know, and then she's like, let's switch to Kirito. I'm like, okay. He was like caught off guard. He starts fighting, and then she starts fighting. It's like, and the name of this episode, I believe, was called White Sword and Black Sword. So on and so forth. And I forgot to mention this little tidbit. Asuna mentioned in the episode that, black is my lucky color. Whatever. But they end up going to the boss. Right in front of the boss door. And, Asuna's really scared and everything. And Kirito says, if things get hot, you get out of there. You transport out of there. So they open the door slowly, and lights come on, and there's the boss. Now, the boss, yeah, he's freaking, like, crazy looking. He's got a sword, and he looks like an Egyptian kind of thing. It looks like an Egyptian god kind of thing. And they're, like, surprised when they see him. So, actually, I think I got the episode name for next week. It's called Blue-Eyed Demon. So, yeah, it was actually blue and everything. But that's just what happened in this episode. Yeah. Definitely, I'm going to give it a 5. I'm giving this a 5. I'm sorry. I got to give this a 5. This was an awesome episode of Sword Art Online. And I look forward to what goes on further. I love Asuna. Asuna for the motherfucking win, people. If you don't like this character and you're watching this show, something must be wrong with your brain. Something is wrong with you. Because this character is... You know what? That's a good versus. Urza versus Asuna. That would be awesome. That's what I should have done. I should have put that match instead of Urza versus Shikam. That would have been awesome. Oh, man, that would have been so epic. Anyway, moving right along. Good episode. Bottom line, great episode of Sword Art Online. 5 out of 5. You guys need to catch yourselves on this show. It's fantastic. And that's all I gotta say. It's just Asuna for the motherfucking win. She's like, oh no, I want to do that. We're like, oh no, you didn't. Kirito's my man. And you're not gonna stab him. Psh. I'm like, yes! A female character who kicks ass. I hope Asuna acts like this the entire series. Because if she does, I'm all for it. But that's all I got for you guys. This has been Bonkai 22. I will see you guys later.